topic is legalization of marijuana. What is marijuana? The physioactive dry resinous flower bud and leaves of the female hemp of cannabis plant, cannabis such as sativa or indica, that contains high level of THC and are smoked, vaped, or ingested, such as in baked goods, especially for the intoxicating effect, such also known as cannabis. Examples of baked good would be cookies, brownies, and cannabis oil. What about cannabis? In the past 10 years, the issue of legalization of marijuana has been a controversial topic. Those who support medical legalization for medical or recreation use maybe fail to recognize the consequences of the drug. The drug has provided many medical and economic benefits. For the US, Colorado was the first state to approve the medical marijuana, which sold just short of $1 million in 2015. Colorado has collected more than $135 million in marijuana fees and taxes in 2015. But those aren't just the pros of medical marijuana. Despite the economic benefits of legalization, it might impose many short-term and long-term health users. Cons and pros. Although there are some economic and medical beneficial of legalization of marijuana, there are also harmful effects of it. The active chemical ingredients in marijuana, tetrahydrocannabinol, THC, passes through the lungs to the bloodstream. The bloodstream then carries the chemical to the brain and the other vital organs throughout the body. When an individual is eating or drinking, the process occurs at a slower rate as the THC takes longer to absorb. The users feel the effect after 30 minutes to 1 hour. THC acts on a specific brain called receptors which react to natural THC-like chemicals. Marijuana overactivates parts of the brain, which contains the highest number of the causes the high of the users. Another effects including auto sense, of example, seeing bright colors. Other effects may include change in body mood, impaired body movement, difficult with problem solving, and disabled memory. People who smoke marijuana often do not smoke cigarettes, have more health problems, and many of them sick days are due to respiratory illness. Long-term marijuana increases the high of chest illness and lung infection. Heavy use of marijuana can reduce many testosterone level as sperm count. Heavy smoking can also cause lower sex drive and decrease fertility. Marijuana can be an addictive drug when teens start to use the drug. Marijuana may reduce thinking of memory. How legalization will impact United States. Impact on tax revenue. Better than expected sales on marijuana in Colorado and Washington over the past several years, they have resulted in core tax revenue. In 2015, Colorado has collected more than $135 million in taxes and fees. Sales in the state totaled over $996 million. A lot of people can make a lot of money if they open up a dispensaries around the area. Some people will be against it because people might smoke and drive, which will impair their driving skills, and a lot of accidents can take places. In the first month of recreation in Colorado, recreation sales exceeded $14 million and medical sales more than double the amount of $32.5 million. According to the recent study of Colorado State University, Colorado legalization experiment will require retailers to marijuana to charge 318% more than the producers. The same study also found that the current estimate of legalization revenue potential are overblown by about 60%, and that in reality legalization will raise revenue equal to only 1% of Colorado budget. How can medical marijuana be bad? Youth attitude and belief that marijuana is medicine and adversely affecting drugs prevention effect to decrease the access, available, and perceived harm of marijuana. Science tells us that smoking marijuana is not recommended for medical use. and therefore we should base policy on scientists and not compromise public health and safety. Here's a chart and shows how many people support and how many people oppose the legalization. Almost 57% people support legalization and 37% people oppose legalization of marijuana. People who oppose legalization of marijuana are mostly big medical companies which can make more money if they do not legalize it, if it's not legalized. Public health on legalization of marijuana. Here's a short video about asking people what do they think about legalization of marijuana and quality cannabis and taxes.
And we are back with another Man on the Street. This time I'm walking around New York City asking people what they think about the legalization of marijuana in New York City. It's going to happen sooner than later, and so we want to see, are people excited about it? Do people not want it to happen? And how do they feel about the prices rising due to better quality bud and due to taxes? Follow me. So marijuana is going to be legal in New York sooner than later. How do you feel about this?
I think it's a good thing because it feels to me wrong that for a small misdemeanor people have a record, and there's jail time, and I think it's a downward slope for something that in the big picture isn't that big of a deal.
I'm excited, low key. I mean, it's about time. It's inevitable once you think about it. A lot of people, I guess, in the U.S. and around the world have their strong feelings against marijuana and weed, and that's really too bad. They just don't give a damn because it is what it is.
I'm pretty excited about it. I mean, it's pretty much already legal, but I think that it's not going to make a difference unless people who are in prison for like weed-related offenses are let out of prison, because that's like the most important thing about it is keeping people out of prisons. So I think it's necessary at this point. Like, we've gotten to a position where people understand that it has a lot of positive qualities, and it's been, so vilified for so long. It's like eventually you have to start making a change.
Well, my only problem is what took so long.
So, due to the taxes and better quality, the price is going to be a lot higher. How do you feel about that?
Honestly, if it's better quality, that's all for the better. I mean, I'll take higher prices if, we're dealing with something that's safe and regulated.
Price is going to go up, and it's going to be how bad do you want it, and we all want it, so we're going to pay it.
Well, I mean, one, people might smoke a little bit less, but it's also kind of nice because then you know that all your stuff's, top notch. You're always getting good quality if you're buying from a dispensary. So on one side, yeah, it sucks that it's a little more expensive, but on the other side, it's you're always going to be getting something good.
I'm content with it only because, in my perspective, if kids are getting it from legalized areas, it's going to be a little bit more safer. And you actually know what you're buying. A lot of times when I was young, I didn't know when I was getting weed. I didn't know what I was smoking. I was just smoking to get high. So when you know what the product is, I feel like that's a good trade-off for the price.
I think it's okay, as long as it's not too crazy, I think it's okay. As long as, you can smoke without getting in trouble, so I guess it's worth it.
Are you going to go to dispensaries, or do you think you're still going to use your friend?
I think I'm still going to use my friend because if he still has his prices, I prefer to use my friend, if dispensaries are going to be more expensive, I think I will stick with my friend, for sure.
Even if you're paying for better weed?
Well, my friend has a good weed, so I...
Federal budget deficit. Here is a graph which shows how much marijuana has been making in growth, which means more revenue for governments so they pay tax on it. US marijuana market, the grass is getting greener, which also means a lot of Wall Street people are making money at Wall Street market, and while marijuana is illegal and people are still making money on Wall Street market. Conclusion. Not all the data is in about the economy of marijuana legalization, but on balance it will be as negative public policy for which our society will pay great spiritual medicine, public health and economic costs which will below afford. Here's a great article about legalization. I would also have this in the description. Thank you.